In this slideshow, we will walk you through key terms, which are basically elements of an essay. Big ideas of essays and research. The author's argument is basically made up of claims or statements to support the author's position. This is basically their stance and the position they're taking on the topic. It helps convince readers to agree with the author's position. The main idea is the point of the paragraph. It's like basically the most important thought of the topic. This is what your research and topic is about. It should be easy to find throughout the essay, and it's what is being said about the topic. It's not necessarily found in a sentence, but it's a outlying theme throughout the essay. The thesis is a statement or theory that is put forward as a premise to be maintained or proved. This is what the argument is made up of. It basically shows the position and argument and what they're going to talk about throughout the essay. The claims are what their individual and detailed positions are on their research. It should reflect the thesis, and it asserts a cause or something, and it usually provides evidence or proof. This first slide is an example of the author's argument and thesis, but high school guidance counselors and admission experts say that the heightened competition has turned the process into an anxiety-ridden numbers game. This is the author's position and what they're going to talk about throughout the essay. The main idea, this is just a summary of what the main idea is about how frenzied college applications leads to students being stressed out. These are claims throughout the essay. For one, the competition is ever more heated. Colleges report receiving record numbers of applications that put up their selectivity numbers and their rankings on the top of college lists and increase the anxiety for students. This is a claim that the author takes on his thesis and his topic. Another claim is that essentially what's happening is that the students are sort of swirling around and then they eventually settling into institution, Mr. Hawkins says. The fact of the matter is that 3 does seem to be the place for any student who wants to go to a 4-year college. This is another claim that the author makes through a reliable source.
Details of essay and research. The commentary explains the data and facts, gives opinions, interpretations, explanations, evaluations, and reflections, and is put in between the concrete details to connect, explain, and help prove the argument of the essay. The explanation is what something is, why it is important, and how it works. This is provided with examples. These are statements that make something more clear. To connect means to connect a person, thing, or idea, which is linked or associated with something else in the essay to explain a relationship. This adds more depth to the essay and for comparison and emphasis. This is an example of where the commentary is. The commentary is, while colleges celebrate their record-setting applicant pools, high school guidance counselors take a dimmer view. This explains the data and the facts and inserts the insight analysis of what the facts were. The example of an explanation is the Common Application, an online application that can be submitted in multiple colleges with a single keystroke. This explains what the Common Application is in the essay. And this provides more clear ideas of what the reader thinks the Common Application is. An example of how to connect is Bruce Polk, the Dean of Admission and Executive Director of College Counseling at Chadwick School in California. This is connecting Bruce Polk to the essay and is bringing more emphasis to all of these ideas about college applications.
Also be discussing the validity of essays and research. And one of the key terms we use is relevance. And relevance is simply the noun form of the adjective relevant. And to know where the relevance of something is usually to know why or how it's important. And relevance usually refers to the important matter at hand. And many people, such as artists or politicians, are always worried about the relevance, because if they're no longer relevant, they don't have a reason to keep their job and to be important. Another thing they need is credibility. And credibility can be the quality of being trusted and believed in. And it's what makes people trust and listen to what you're saying. Because if you don't have credibility, then most people will not try to listen to you. And another thing that we use is reasoning. And reasoning involves a conscious attempt to discover what is true and what is best. Reasoning thought follows a chain of cause and effect. and the word reason can be used as a synonym for cause. In the article we used, the credibility is visible when Bruce Pooch is introduced as the Dean of Admission and Executive Director of College Counseling at Chadwick School. And for our next slide, the reasoning is visible in this article when it discussed how colleges report receiving record numbers of applications that push up the selectivity numbers and the rankings on top of colleges, increase the anxiety for students.
Okay, so I'm going to be talking about some key terms and overall ideas of research and essays. So theme is basically the subject of talk, what it's mainly about, a topic. It's a piece of writing or a person's thoughts or an event or an exhibition. Theme can also be an underlying message or a big idea of a topic or an essay, or basically something you're reading about. Our next word is detailed evaluation, and this can be an act or an instance of appraising. And our other key term would be sources. Sources can be found throughout history, and they can come from a person, place, or thing, which can be obtained. In our article, you can find some examples of sources. You can see the National Association for College Admission Counseling. You can see Stanford University, Georgia Tech, and Yale. These can be sources because they're reliable and credible.